Hello, welcome everybody. I'm Josh from Team 17, and today we're just showing off some Neon Abyss. And at 2 o'clock 2 p.m. GMT, we'll have a massive announcement for the game. So if anyone's tuning in and they don't know anything about Neon Abyss, it is a roguelike. Oh, actually, started me off again. No, actually, wait a second. I've started a different save. I was going to show off some of my save earlier. It's a roguelike. May as well just go through the demo now. The intro, sorry. And we have. It's basically a roguelike. Yeah, and you're diving into the Neon Abyss, you're sent in by Hades, and you're fighting lots of big bosses, and they're all sort of gods, new and some old that you might be very familiar with. Whilst we're crawling through these dungeons, we are fighting lots of enemies. You can shoot by holding on the controller, it is the right stick, but also there is a melee attack for our character. These are some of the more basic enemies at the start that will shoot at you. The game is quite unforgiving, so it is quite tough, and will explode into gory bits as well, which is always nice. There's platforming elements to this as well, so getting coins, collecting loot as you go through the dungeons. And we'll go through. I actually kind of want to go back and see if we can get to my main save, because I can show off the dungeons a little bit better, because the intro is. Oh no, where's it gone? New game. Okay, I see. So we've got to start off again. I had been playing to get some saves on, but I hadn't realised that the game has been updated, hasn't it? So we start on a new save slot. But I'll be jumping around here, get some height. I'll do this quickly. We'll jump through. If you have any questions at all about the game, then be sure to ask in the chat. We have been teasing this a lot on the social media, and there has been some other teasers on videos and things so far. The idea with the game is that you will go along. We haven't got through to it yet because we're just running through the tutorial. But there's ways to. So here we go. We've got Terry here. So an item will give a special power, and so not every weapon has a special power that you can use. But this particular one, I think, gives you a balloon that you can float with. So we can actually get higher. So in this case, we're using this weapon's ability to get to this chest. We have a key, so we can open it up. So yeah, you can collect keys, open chests, and loot as we go. This chest here actually requires crystals, which we don't have, which are in the top left there. We can also collect grenades. Grenades are useful in the game to throw and blow up concrete items and things. Here's another weapon. So we've got a question there. So what platforms is the game coming to? Hopefully all platforms, although we'll have more news on that as soon as we can. But for now, we'll talk about something a little bit later at 2 o'clock. Which is on one particular platform. I'm not actually sure what this weapon's ability is. So I've dropped Terry, the cat, and as you're going through the dungeons in the Neon Abyss, there's actually here, this is a teleporter. It's almost like a quick travel. You can quick travel between two places, which makes the dungeons very handy to get through. How much will the game be when it comes out? We don't have a price confirmed just yet, although that'll be closer to release when we have more information about that. So this is George, the god of Pill. All of the gods, a lot of the gods, apart from a few of the bigger bosses, are all sort of newer gods, sort of gods of the modern age that you have to battle. You've essentially been sent into the abyss by Hades. I haven't got an answer for that, but anything that we don't have an answer for at the moment, we will be answering in an FAQ on the Steam discussion zone. So this particular boss I think it has two modes. I don't think it's got into the second mode just yet. Wait a second, no, actually, this is the second mode where they drop down and they bounce. This is actually probably my least favourite boss for going against because they always get me. I think actually if we die here, we'll probably get through the tutorial anyway. I'm kind of hoping so. But we have made a pickup. I'm not actually sure where we made the pickup, but the pickup. So the weapons are very customizable, and effects that you pick up throughout the game will change the way your weapon works. So you can see there that the weapon shots are bouncing around the map. And this is the first time that we can see the unlock system for the game. We haven't actually got anything because we didn't defeat the boss. Usually you get the golden, basically some currency to buy in the bar in the Neon Abyss. New unlocks, and some of these unlocks as well are new characters. So this particular character can do a stunt roll, but these drops, the idea is that you customize your dungeon every time you go in. It will be different because they're all randomly generated, but you can also decide which items will be in the dungeon. This particular one, kill enough enemies and you'll drop extra hearts, so basically it's a little bit of a healing one. And here, actually, you're unlocking rooms as well. So the piano room is a little mini game that you can play around with. So here you go, you can play some beautiful music in this room. It's actually quite a difficult mini game. We might be able to see it during this playthrough. So I'm going to show off some of the characters as well. James is interesting as passive skills to carry 2 weapons. Normally you can only carry 1 weapon at a time as a character. There's lots of different variations, and as we go through, I'm going to play in normal. I won't play easy because it's a bit easy for me. I've been playing it for a little while now. We won't go for hard just in case we do get killed a bit too early. Okay, so you can actually see the minimap system. There's always several ways to go on the maps, but you usually want to try and go through every room to get every unlock. So here we're getting some loot. We've got a little bit of shields you can see in the top left. The shields work a bit like expendable health. Your health points will always be the max. So say we've got 3 hearts here, it'll always be 3 max as long as we have 3 max health. But if the shield goes, it just goes until you find another shield. But you can always refill the hearts up to 3. So we can't actually fill up any more here. So we're picking up coins as well. The coins can be used in shops, which we'll show off very soon as we jump through the dungeon. And we will go through and try and blast everything. So these are quite tricky. Sometimes they give you health, sometimes they don't. So I'm not going to pick it up, seeing as we're full health. The enemies as well, all quite tricky. These ones, when they die, they drop a bomb, a spiky bomb, but I've blasted them quickly away. These bosses in particular are quite easy to begin with. In this first room, there's a boss on each of the levels, and then a bigger boss on the 5th room. So as we go through, so this is actually one of the save points. So we can actually teleport back if we wanted to. I'll show it off later because we will start teleporting around because it makes the dungeons much easier to traverse once we get going. I will just go ahead. I won't blast every crate. I think if I was playing on my own, I'd definitely blast every crate, but here we won't. Sometimes you can actually get things by using the crates, so you don't always want to blast the crates. So here I can almost get these items. Okay, this is actually the first time we can show off an egg. The eggs, when you pick them up, all you have to do is walk through them. They'll follow you around until they are ready to hatch. And essentially they will be a pet that will help you. Either they'll pick up items. One of them actually picks up items and gives you random items. Oh no, I ruined that grenade there, but that's absolutely fine. So as you can see here, you have to use these jump pads as well to try and get around the maps. But there's a shop here. I don't think I'll show it off because I don't have any coins. Actually, we do have coins. We've got 20, so I can show something off here. So you can use crystals to either open chests, open doors, and there's a few other unlocks that you can use crystals for. It's another currency that you sort of collect whilst you're going through the abyss. I can't really afford much here because I've only got 20 coins, but I'm going to get another shield just to keep myself alive a little bit. But there was actually a weapon there that I could have picked up if I wanted to. But I will use a teleport for the first time. So if you see here on the minimap, I've sort of hit a dead end, but I can jump straight back to another teleporter. You have to walk through it to activate it to send you back. So I already know that I've gone left, and that's just a treasure room. So if I go right, I should be going towards the boss and new rooms and new enemies. So these ones are pretty easy enemies. They just chase you and try and bite you essentially. I'm just going to carry on going through. I would normally go for those crates, but let's try and show more of the dungeons off. These ones I think split into smaller enemies when they die. Oh no, they don't. These particular ones don't. I think it might be the green version that split into the other enemies. This flower, I actually shot it before I could fire, but it does fire out 2 little projectiles. Okay, so this is another element in the game. So there's a treasure room where we can pick between 2 items. I don't, off the top of my head, know exactly what these 2 items are. I'll show you when I pick one up. I'm going to go for the knife and fork. So knife and fork, each time you kill an enemy with melee damage, okay, we can go have a little look at it. There's a chance to get an egg. So this is for the pets. Each one of these, some of them have their own effects. They affect things like, so with your eggs that's follow me, eventually it will either hatch and it will be successful and become a pet, or it will fail. But there's some items that will make it so that your pets never fail. Whenever you have an egg, it will always hatch, so those things are useful. But then sometimes they affect your weapon, like make your bullets bounce around and lots of other effects like that. I'm going to go ahead and drop down. I actually don't know where the second room is. I think there must be a secret door somewhere to the second room. I know it's behind here. This is why I've just been looking at the minimap the wrong way. We'll go in here. Okay, so this particular enemy that looks a bit like a flying squid is also a little bit scary because they drop 2 little projectiles that drop down and then follow the ground. These ones I find really hard to deal with, but are pretty cool. Another little element here for the platforming. These platforms actually disappear when you're trying to jump off of them. And the Neon Abyss is quite an unforgiving place, so these are quite easy platforms at the moment, but later on it's spikes, swinging balls, and lots of other fun things that are hard to traverse and are quite nasty. We actually have the other interesting effect of the items, which I hadn't talked about, is that they do affect the way you physically look. So I've actually got a chef's hat on at the moment. I do apologise. Clear my throat. So actually this is one of the first gods, and we are battling them. They are basically gods of gluttony. They are trying to drop these balls down on me. So I hit that. So you saw actually one of the item effects there. So when I use my melee attack, my knife, I actually got an egg falling behind me, which was really handy. So I just need to try and dodge. If you keep calm, you can dodge a lot of the attacks from these bosses, because I know that this one's going to go to the left. I have to dodge both the bosses and also their drops. These bosses actually do evolve depending on how far into the abyss you actually are. So because it's the first boss that we've gone against, they are actually easy, which I'm not showing a great example of playing against them. I think it's always harder to talk and play. Normally I sweep up this boss. This one's quite easy on the first time, so it doesn't look too hard straight away. And I might have got caught out here. So these spiky balls actually do hatch into those little flying monsters, which are rather creepy. So again, we got a melee attack off there and got another egg. So we're actually starting a trail of pets. They get very handy in terms of taking down bosses and things later on. So most bosses do have two modes. So this is the mode where you've got them down to low health. Usually about half health, but they turn into this crazy mode. So actually this was really fast. I should really be using the platformers here, but I don't have any jumps or anything. I'm kind of hoping that they don't jump into me. So we will try and just defeat this now. So once we have defeated this boss, hopefully, oh goodness, we don't defeat, oh no, so this is the first death. Normally I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to show you one of the currencies when we go into the start again. Because when you go through the death, basically your deaths count towards a progression. So the idea is that you keep dying and you come back with this currency to be able to unlock next levels along the progression. You don't actually see here, but there are lots more levels on this progression, so this is just the first tier of it. I think once you unlock one entire branch, it becomes another branch tier. You know what, let's just go on to easy. Let's try and blast through this. It's harder to do it with commentary than it is playing on my own. We should actually have 18 hours off so far. This is actually a full dev build, by the way, for anybody wondering. So this is work in progress, but is quite fleshed out in terms of what's going on here. We will go ahead and try and dodge all of these enemies. So you're going to stay there. I'm happy with that. So once you die and you start again, you do lose all of your items. Like other roguelike games, you basically start from scratch from a run. But again, the idea is that it does have progression in terms of when you're playing the game through when you go back to the bar and to Hades zone. I'll show off probably when we die again the dancing. There is dancing in the start zone. So here I've just lit up one of the respawn zones. There are lots of rooms. If I try to rush through, the only problem is that I will not get as many unlocks, so it won't be quite as buffed up as I'd like to be. So we've actually got another pet following us. I really hope to be able to show off one of these pets hatching. They don't only hatch, they also evolve, which is really handy. Come on, let's go drop this here. And this particular beam here takes 2 of the grenades to blast off. And that is annoying because this particular chest needs another grenade to open it up. It is a concrete chest. So it is shut for us at the moment. I can't open this door either because it is locked. So you will go through the map. You can find keys either by killing enemies or opening up chests. I think that I'm not sure about the difficulty in terms of unlocks. I will put that into the FAQ when we have that live on Steam. But we should be able to push through this anyway to show off some of the unlocks if we can play through this and die on the easy mode. It is way easier on the easy mode. I think it's almost about half the shots it needs to take an enemy. Off the top of my head. This is another little effect actually. There's this particular this can be opened with just by clicking on it, but you can also accidentally hit it and it turns into this red thing which damages you if you touch it. So this door here actually needs crystals to open it, but you can shoot at it to basically give up 1 health to open the door. And we are going to go through this way. Hopefully we'll get into this little zone here. Oh, this enemy was really on my tail. I was worried about that one. So the levels do get harder as well. So even though this is easy, when we start progressing through the abyss, each level will get harder. Will there be achievements? That's something that will be further along the lines, but there should be. But we don't have any news about what the achievements will be or what exactly they'll be at this point. They'll be further down the line. So we can actually go into a different room here. I think it must be upwards. Okay. Oh no, it's in the next room. I see where it is, in the boss room. I should be able to come back myself because I kind of want to see if there's a treasure room. There should be a treasure room in the first run, so I think it must be up to the top right here. These teleporters are really handy for the dungeon, so you don't have to keep walking back on yourself all the time. You will have to clear like 3 rooms without dying before you can teleport back somewhere. Gonna go to one of the treasure rooms here. So the rubber ducky, this one gives you coins. Okay, so the more coins you have, the faster you can shoot. So this is a pretty cool item. This is an add-on for our weapon, if we show it off here. This item basically gives our weapon a bit of an upgrade. And we should be shooting pretty fast actually, because we are starting to get quite a bit more coins. And I won't go to the shop now. I don't want to spend my coins, I want to buff up my weapon as much as possible. And we'll go into okay, so the God of Pill again. This is an angry god that I don't like playing against very often, so I think that's not easy. It's very hard to dodge this particular boss. Okay, so I don't need to dodge their projectiles. Okay, let's go. They don't jump just yet. So you can actually see there's actually different modes of the bosses. So when I showed it in the demo, they had a slightly different mode. So I can actually see them jumping down here, so I'm going to use this if I can. So basically the idea for this boss is that you use the jump pad to try and dodge them. Unfortunately it hit me there. But they are going down rather quickly, so we should get this one. Okay, well it's actually pushing into the corner. No! This is actually absolutely fine. I was kind of hoping it would jump up again, so he's actually got 1 shot. They've actually just got 1 shot. Okay, so we're going to pick up another item. Upgrade your weapon. So if you actually see here, my weapon has been upgraded. Let's have a quick look. So Seal's Patch. Upgrade your weapon, increase your movement speed. So you can see slightly of a increase my movement speed and the weapon should be firing a bit better. It also does visually change the weapon. And we do have that rubber ducky on top of it as well. So basically you go through stages, each stage has a boss at the end of it, and then you do have a big boss at the end of those 5 stages. Your dungeon does keep evolving so that you have more stages and more of those big bosses. But I think we're going to be able to show off the first big boss in this run. I'm kind of hoping to hit it with this run. Let's see, last view. So there are lots of upgrades to the weapons in terms of making it fire further. There's some that make the projectiles explode. There's some that spread out the weapon shots. You saw earlier there was a bouncing weapon. But if anybody is currently just tuning in to us, this is Neon Abyss. And we do have an update, a big announcement at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. GMT. So that'll be very soon. And yes, I can't actually get up there. I think I actually need another unlock to get up to the top of there ASAP. And we will jump here into the room. So this is actually one of the harder enemies. Thankfully there's a little lip on the edge of this map, but these projectiles are kind of hard to dodge. These are some of the harder enemies, I think. I always find it hard to judge the projectiles. I'm not actually sure. I'm not sure. Sorry, somebody asked the question, but I'm not entirely sure what it meant. So this is a roguelike game. So it is basically once you die, that run is over. So it's quite unforgiving that way. But also it's slightly different because you are customizing your dungeon and unlocking different parts of your dungeon as you go along. There are loads and loads of different items and pets and other elements. Ah, no, I'm gonna hit. Yeah, so there's a lip. There wasn't a lip there. I need to get up higher into the map as quickly as possible. That flower also is quite nasty. That it fires out shots into the air. All of these ones are all very scary. This particular enemy doesn't actually attack you until you attack it. All the white enemies, until they go glow red, don't attack you. So we do have 34 coins here. So these enemies are all quite dangerous, so I need to be very careful with all of these. So because we're on the next, basically we're in the next floor, the enemies are getting harder, even though we're on easy. Things are really spicing up straight away. I'm kind of hoping that won't notice me. There we go. Our pet actually has hatched here, so I hadn't really showed it off. So this particular pet is a blue brick. It'll block enemies' bullets, which is really handy. But isn't the most characteristic of all of the pets. There are some really crazy ones. One of my favourites is basically like a monkey god that hits people with a stick. And another one, a snowman that freezes people. So the course will actually get harder too. So you can see here the spikes. I don't have enough jump height. This has actually really got me now. So we kind of want to jump away from this. We only have 1 gold as well. I might actually have to buy some health here. Oh wow, okay. That was 100% worth it. So this treasure room actually had so much health in it. I will just jump up here and over and back through. I think we might want to teleport before we go through for this boss because we don't actually have much loot. We don't have much loot at all, so you can keep tracking back on yourself, which is really handy, so that I don't have to sort of traverse the entire map to get back on myself at the start. I do really like this sort of fast travel they have in the game. And we'll jump across here. Yes, we actually do have enough height to jump here. And we've got another pet, so hopefully that hatch into something rather interesting. And like because of our item that we've got on our weapon, the rubber duck, we do fly faster for coins, so we'll definitely get that coin. These particular enemies will... Oh, there's actually one that fires down. There's a variation of that drops beams. This particular enemy is actually quite hard. It's almost like a mini boss itself. This teddy bear. They will drop these big skulls from the top at you. I need to be able to dodge this, and they'll also charge you. That actually really hurts a lot. There's also these other enemies that teleport around the map and shoot from walls. So I do have 4 keys though, so hopefully we're going to find some more loot rooms that we can open with keys. So at the moment we are in trouble, but here we go. This room should be able to be opened by a key. Also there's a loot box there. This particular one is opened with coins. Oh no. I think the game's just a second. The waiting screen and come back on ourselves. So I'll just talk to my producer as we get the game back up again. Hey folks, welcome back. We are back in the game. It will pop up in just a second. There we go. So yeah, this is a developer build. There is something that we're about to announce in 1 minute, which we've still got a minute. But I'm going to enter the bar. Wait a second. I might just be able to. I might just check whilst we're here if my other save slot is open. Let's go to main menu because I was definitely playing it earlier. Save slot 1. Played 9 minutes. Oh, no.
Second.
Okie dokie. Was the microphone? Oh, okay, so we're back. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, this is a developer build, so you can actually see it in the bottom there. We have something to announce in just a moment, which you'll be able to play yourselves, which isn't quite as developer-y. And whilst we wait for the announcement to start, I think I will just show off the dance, this little jig that our character can do here, which I do quite enjoy. I do always like a jig in the Neon Abyss area. We are at the bar. Again, maybe talk about some of the characters now that we've shown off some of the elements in the game. So this particular character is quite interesting, Ming. So they have passively improved hatching success rate of the eggs. So those pets that you saw that are following me around, they will pretty much make it so that your pets will open hatch much more successfully, more often. But all of them have different skills and are another thing that you can unlock and have fun with in the game. I think we're so close. We're good to go. Okay, folks, I hope they enjoy this announcement. We'll be back for another half an hour. But you maybe wanted to leave us as well, because you'll just see in just a second. And we're going to take you over to an announcement.
Product not yet rated.
Okay, welcome back folks. I hope everybody enjoyed that trailer. So the demo is live now and playable on Steam. So if you go to the Steam store page, Neon Abyss, then you can play the demo right now. Everybody can play it. It isn't quite this build. There are timers. There's different timers for easy, normal and hard. So if you do play on the hard mode, you get more time than you do on the easy. So each run will be different too, because there is basically each of the dungeons are randomly generated. But if you do find a particular dungeon that you do like, or a run that you like, you can take the number down of what you've played, and then you can have that as a seed. So if you basically are trying to speed run something, you could give somebody else this seed. But the demo is live now on Steam, so be sure to play it. And I hope that everybody enjoyed that trailer. The music in it is incredible, the dubstep. I could watch that again and again just for the music. And if you do want to watch it again, it is on all the social media. It is on Steam, so on the Neon Abyss Twitter, Facebook, and also the Team 17 Twitter and Facebook, if you do want to keep watching that repeat. And obviously on YouTube itself, the trailer is live for the demo. And if you actually want to get into the game, play it yourself, then go ahead and go download it on Steam, because it's ready to go. Yeah, and I'm just going to carry on playing for another half an hour. I keep reminding people that the demo is live. I mean, did I set this to harder? It feels like it's harder already. This is almost like the second room of the easy mode. So I'm a bit worried now. I think we have to jump over that. So there is almost like platforming elements to some of the enemies as well, because you do have to dodge a lot of their projectiles. I do want to show off a few more of the bosses, because they are very cool, and there's lots of them. So there's lots of bosses, lots of pets, lots of collectibles. It just seems almost endless, but you do also unlock that during playing the game. Let me grab that coin. We don't have the rubber duck anymore, so we're not getting that extra fire speed. There's hearts everywhere. We're currently full health, but at least we know now that if we do take some damage, we can go back on ourselves. If anybody does have any questions at all you want to ask about Neon Abyss or about the demo, then be sure to ask in any of the chats. We're watching all of the chats, currently restreaming across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and Steam, and on the Steam store as well. It should be above the Neon Steam store at the moment as well. So just ask in any of those chats, and I'll be happy to answer the best I can. So I've actually gone back on myself. I think it's just when you start getting into the talks, then you start losing track. I was kind of knew that I was going right, but I didn't know I was going down and right. So we'll dodge the chomp there of this little monster. This must be normal mode, because it is slightly harder than I had anticipated from the last game. I'm trying to run easy. I have made a lot of runs, and oh no, I've just got that chest. So we could take some damage here because we have got a lot of hearts. So I can show you this mechanic actually. Some of the chests, like this one, if you accidentally hit it, the crystal chest, if you walk into it, you take damage, so half a heart there. But then we do get something from it, so we've got an egg. And I do know that there's lots of hearts in this map. You can see it. You can see on the mini map as well. What is in each room if you do leave some loot in the room. There are lots of secret rooms as well that you have to blast through with grenades and things, but there aren't currently any to show, I don't think, here. I can't see any. You can sort of see where they are by the fact that they have a crack and they sort of glow. Oh, this is really bad. I think I might actually die here to these two enemies. These are two of the harder enemies, I would say. So, will there be items related to Team 17 in Neon Abyss? I don't think off the top of my head there are a lot of items. I don't think off the top of my head there isn't a collaboration item at the moment, although that would be very cool. Watch this space. But I don't think there is anything at the moment, just off the top of my head. So that particular test was very good. We were lucky there as well, because that heart gave us health rather than taking it away. And we haven't got another grenade to open that door, but that's fine. I might actually go through here, because I haven't been through this door. I can see on the minimap. But yeah, we have, that could be something. In the future, you never know. But a lot of the items are pretty funny as well. What have we got on here? Actually, I didn't actually see what there. So we've got the advanced knife. The more shields you have, the more melee damage you do. So there are things that also relate to your knife. We had it earlier where it gave us eggs, I think, when we stabbed people. Stabbed enemies even. So that was an interesting one. These enemies aren't too hard, so we should be able to dodge all their shots here. I don't think this one bursts into other enemies. It's the green one. We are at a treasure room. But again, if you do have any questions about the demo, and the demo is live, so this is a stone egg. I've got this a few times. If the egg touches a stone, including doors, then it will explode and disappear. So cool. So it is quite funny how the eggs trail behind you in a little line. It's rather cute, really. There isn't another room here. I'm just looking at the mini-map now. This is the last room that we need to clear, and then we can go for the first boss on this run, this particular run. This is going to chomp me. That's fine. So that melee. The only problem with going for melee is it is a bit of a risk because you could get chomped, just like that happened there. So this actually particular platform element, they're timed. The other ones I showed off that faded actually just go after a certain time that you're standing on them, but these are just generally timed. I don't have enough for a weapon still, which is quite sad. I don't know if there was anything to open, so I might just get a shield. It was the shield, wasn't it? Shield gives increased damage whilst melee. I was trying to remember what that item was. But yes, the demo is live now, so if you do want to play Neon Abyss, then you will be able to play it in a timed demo. Again, the runs are all randomly generated, so they'll be different every time. You'll probably be able to get to a few different bosses each time. Depending on how good you are, you might be able to get a few of the floors done, but that could be quite difficult. So we'll see whether people get to like the final boss in the runs. Because if you do run through, you can speedily get to the bosses, but then you won't have many weapons, so it's quite hard. So it'll be interesting to see what people do with the demo, whether people will be trying to speedrun against each other and get as far as possible, especially with the fact that you can try and go in the same seeds as well. You're always a bit challenging. Okay, we'll try and blast this. This is actually the same boss that we died to earlier, but hopefully we won't die to this time. I might actually concentrate on playing the game so we can get past this boss and show off another boss. We've got a question here. I'm going to wait a second just to answer the question just after this boss, if I can get past it. Okay, well, wait a second. May have to drop next to me. I think actually the idea here is to try and get higher up, but I haven't actually done that. Okay, so try and dodge. With all of the bosses, you can dodge every shot. Me here is just talking, trying to dodge all of these projectiles. So this actually should be harder than the easy mode that we were doing earlier, because they are in normal now. Be very careful bouncing around. I mean, I was going to say earlier that it's harder when there's only one of them, when there's two of them, but actually it does seem that it's harder when there's two of them at the moment, when they're bouncing around very fast. We're going to try and hit this, we should be able to turn it. I don't know whether it's the same, I don't think it is actually the same head that changes every time, so it depends which one you hit last, but we have got the same one both times. And like I said before, the bosses do change when they're further into the dungeons, so this is actually the easiest it will be. This is the easiest mode that it has. I think maybe this, being up higher, is for this mode. We might just let the enemies jump around. Only one heart left. No, can't die again. Okay, and it might get us here. And it got us again on 1 health. I can't believe it. It's happened twice, but we have got 1 gold. Okay, so we have got 1 gold, so we can unlock. So there we go. There's a melee weapon, which is a knife that you always have when you're near an enemy. Will there be different types of melee weapons? I think it's always as it is on you, but you can upgrade it, obviously. But it is just a weapon that's integrated into your kit. That could be something that could put into the FAQs as well. So I can actually put on. So the first unlock I can get here with the gold is a hidden room every time that we're on a dungeon. So some of the things are just kind of upgrades for the dungeon, but then other things change it up quite a bit. I mean, everything is an upgrade because you kind of want every item on there. But you can see things like this. So every time you jump, you leave a mine behind you. Sounds crazy. It is crazy indeed. Neon Abyss, no news on mobile at the moment. It's just on. Basically, we'll have more news further down the line on all the platforms that we'll come to. I might put it to easy again. I'd want to get as far as possible in a run. Can't believe that boss got us again. I think we actually must have killed a boss in that run because we got one of the gold, one of the currency to use in the match. So this particular dungeon actually is different because it has only 2 rooms on the left. So we'll try and destroy this. So easier, you can actually see straight away that easier on the first level is much easier than it is on normal. So there is a lot of scope for playing the game in different difficulties. Hard is very hard. I think if I wasn't on stream, I normally play with hard. So it's actually surprising that we're getting killed by the bosses here. I will blast that as well. Annoyingly, this chest is actually red, so I kind of don't want to, actually I can see this here. So basically, if we open this door, we get 1 shield, but we lose it by opening this chest, which I think we can take. So we got an egg from that. So basically we ended up with as much health as we started with. That laser works a bit like the damage. You can walk through it, but it damages you each time you go through the laser. I'm going to just come down here, down to the right, and kill some more enemies. I might try and take the boss on. I think we might be able to take it with no items. I kind of just want to run through. I kind of want to get to, if we get to find the treasure room, it's here, okay? So what I'll do is I'll go to this treasure room and then we'll try and take on the boss. Okay, again, what's this one? Mecha egg will drop you an extra key if you hatch an empty egg. So that's a bit of a bonus if you don't actually get a pet from your eggs. So this could be badly advised. We're going to try and take on the boss. This one's the cod of plushies. This one's actually scary as well. Hopefully on easy will be okay. Oh no. We've got to dodge, first of all, these little balls they're firing at us, and then also these stars that it sprays around. But most of the bosses will have elements where you have to dodge projectiles, you have to fire at the same time, you might have to go into a certain area because they block off with their projectiles what they're firing at. Using the platforms is very important as well. Sometimes you will get the bouncy platforms. These ones actually disappear when you jump on them, so I'm being careful about using it. So this boss actually bounces around when it changes, it evolves from its normal state, and then just gets a lot more stars. Okay, wait a second. I can dodge these. I'm not actually shooting in the right spot. There we go, I'm happy with that. So let's see what our upgrade is this time. Got another currency, adds extra bullets per shot. So there we go, so this is one of the upgrades to the weapon. You can actually see on the weapon itself, underneath is the item that's attached to it. And it's actually split our bullets up, so we should do some more juicy damage. And we're on to the next floor, let's go. If you do have any questions, then be sure to ask them in any of the chats. We're watching all of the chats for the socials. We're in a different zone now, so the area has changed. These enemies are hard ones, but should be easy enough in the easy mode. So we did take the easy route, and we'll come down here. Okay, I'm going to try and do this quickly, so I won't go for every crate. We'll look for the treasure room and the boss. Let's see, some crystals here. But the idea is that we are evolving our dungeon as we go along. So we have just started off here in a completely vanilla game. So our first unlock was giving a hidden room for every dungeon, every floor. So there should be a hidden room that we can get to. We have to find an area. So wait a second. We got a key because our item gives us keys every time, but that we don't hatch an egg. So that's pretty handy actually, because it means that we don't have to be sad about our eggs. So actually, this is the first pet that I can show off. That is kind of a bit more humanoid. So this is a cactus baby. So she causes damage to anybody she touches. So she floats around towards enemies and does damage to them. And we haven't shown it off yet, but the pets will evolve as you go through the game. And basically they'll get better. They'll become better versions of themselves. Some will shoot more projectiles than they would normally. Some will basically do more damage or block more shots or get more items. There's a lot of different effects that they evolve into. Let's try and just blast these down. So these pink ones are very hard if you're trying to fight them on the ground floor, but should be easy enough to blast down here. I think my problem is I'm struggling to aim whilst talking, but I'm more focusing on talking about the enemies and things. That's my excuse on this particular run. Okay, so we're going to go through, and so this is another treasure room. We do have that key, thankfully, from the pet. Not from the pet, sorry, from the item that gave us a... Oh, this is actually... So this is immune to explosion damage, the Big Daddy. So there is actually... So with the other item I showed off earlier in the tree, it drops a mine every time you jump, which is actually quite bad if you are just without any damage immunity. If you find yourself in your own mines, you can hurt yourself quite a bit. But with this particular item, it sort of synergizes with that weapon, and then will basically make it so you can always just drop mines that will never damage you. Okay, wait a second, we need to be careful here. So these enemies will shoot a beam in a line, so they're quite hard to dodge. We will go ahead and try and blast this out. Oh dear. Okay, well we've got 1 health left. So I'm going to wait for this teddy bear to turn around. Okay, it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to use my powers to try and shoot at it. Jump and shoot. Do some next level strategies. If I can get up here, then I should be able to dodge it. Okay, there we go. They do only shoot in a horizontal line, so we could actually dodge those ones, but they do a lot of damage and they're quite hard to dodge until you jump up into the air. I don't know if there's any hearts left around anywhere, so I've got to be a little bit careful before we go into the next boss. So we want to come through here. I mean, it is advisable when you're playing the demo, when you get into it, that you do try and do every level, because they are essentially, you will want to get through every room because there are items in there that will make it much easier to do the bosses. Let me get those coins. We want to come back across them ourselves. So you can see here we'll blast through those crates. And we'll go through to the next room. We only have one hit left, so I'm kind of cautious here because I think that all the monsters are going to spawn. So a lot of the time you go through the door, then the door will shut on you. So you have sort of time to prepare, yourself, but not a lot of time. Okay, so I've got to be very careful. These two munches below me, teal ones. There you go. Got a hatch, another hatch failed, but we get another key for that, so I'm quite happy with that. Got to be careful in this room. Coming up, we'll shut behind us again. This could have been a very short one. Our cactus baby actually just killed them there, if you saw. When will the game be released? We don't have a release date yet, but next year sometime we'll just be watch our socials, watch all of our Steam page. We'll have news as soon as we can about when the full release date is. But currently you can play right now with the Steam demo. If you do want to play around with the demo, then that is up live now, so you can play around with that. I am kind of tempted to go into the shop because I might be able to buy a heart. We can buy one shield. So this is scary because we only have one life between the shield and the heart. I could potentially blow up that wall, but I don't want to end up blowing myself up by accident. Okay, there we go. Thankfully that didn't actually hit us. We're very close to that explosion there. So there you can see, there we go. So she fires penetrating bullets randomly alongside when she goes onto people, she damages people, the cactus baby. There we go. She causes damage to anyone she touches and fires penetrating bullets randomly. So this is the evolution of one of the pets. So they will evolve and become better. I am actually really scared now of going into this boss room. So we might go up here first, see if we can find some more health before we enter this second boss. Because they will be slightly harder. Okay, so we can actually open this chest up. And that is perfect for us. We'll try and blow that up. And it's another health. So that is actually perfect. 100% what we wanted. And again, we can use the fast travel to get back to this room, so we're not messing around. And we're into the boss zone. So this is the god of bitter coin. So another one of the modern bosses. This one actually fires out coins, so you can actually pick up the coins as it fires them out. It also fires missiles, so you've got to be very careful of that. But they are money missiles, so you can be happy with that. These coins actually look like they're more than they are. I think each one is actually just one. So this one is in its mode, its low health mode, so we're actually going to blast through. So this next one is the weapon damage increase. So you actually see the items stack on top of each other. So we've got the Big Daddy helmet, but we've also got the glasses on too, which is quite cool. We're going to go through this portal. And we are on number 3. Let's go. If anybody does have any questions, be sure to ask in any of the chats. Here we go. Will there be a new closed beta? I don't think that I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that there will be. There's just a demo out now. More information in the future, but I think it's going to be a demo and then it's going to be released, but we'll have more information. Just watch our socials for everything in terms of release and whatever is put out and what you can play and when the game is actually live. And we'll also have an FAQ put up on Steam with some of the more common questions as soon as possible. We will go through. So this is actually a pretty long room. So the rooms are all quite different too. You heard a strange sound from coming afar. So this is one of the hidden rooms. I can actually teleport to this, I think, now, if I go to the teleporter. I've got to be careful. These particular enemies are when the helicopters blow up when you kill them. So they're quite dangerous to go against. All my other eggs must have not hatched. That's really sad. So we're going to blow up that guy. There's one more up here. These are the worms that are jumping around, actually. Let's go. Should be able to defeat the worm. And there we go. We're back through. Okay, we can see this room has actually got a lot of enemies in it. I need to be very careful with this jumping one. There we go. We dodged it, I think. Thankfully, through. I think our cactus baby is actually doing a lot for us here. It's not actually Cactus Baby anymore, is it? It's a Cactus... Oh, it's Cactus Baby 2. It's Cactus Baby 2. It's evolved, but it's still a baby. I can't actually get through either of those stone things, concrete walls, because I only have one grenade. So we might get something in here. What is this weapon? Every time you pick up a coin, there's a chance you'll get extra hearts. That's nice, so we can almost heal if we get coins opened. So I might blow that up anyway. Sometimes if you blow up some of the concrete things, they do give you items, so it's worth blowing things up. We'll blow up this one as well. we gave it a go. We hope for it. Through that door, I haven't actually shown it off yet. I don't have enough crystals to go to it. But there's a fight room, which will always give you an item or weapon when you battle through it. You have to battle a lot of enemies. That exploding enemy actually really helped me there because they blew up the other enemy. So you can actually use enemies against themselves. These particular enemies again, the white enemies that float around will only attack you once you attack them. So you've got to be a little bit cautious about when you attack them. That didn't actually drop any hearts for me there for those coins, but it is like a random chance. So we can blow these up. So be careful with the bomb they drop. Explosive. We've got some more. Okay, iron windmill. So we got another pet. So this one I think does damage enemies that it touches. If you have a quick look at the iron windmill. And this windmill deals melee damage when it touches enemies, so it's really handy too. Thankfully it doesn't hit these exploding barrels, otherwise we might end up with them damaging us. I will go ahead and I can't get to those chests. Like earlier, there was a cat weapon that gave us an ability. This particular weapon is just a default weapon. I haven't got a weapon yet, so I haven't got another ability just yet. This particular enemy does fire projectiles that I think they go through the walls, so you've got to be very careful with this one. Hit that crate, so that's fine. There we go, killed it. Try and blast this explosive one, and we are through. But again, I don't have anything to get high enough to get all of those chests, which is very sad. Kind of want more items before we go on. But we have found the boss door. Oh, here we go, here's a weapon. So we can see here, the lullaby, good night, sleep tight, active, get a silver egg. So what does a silver egg do for us? I'm not actually sure until we start using it. Get a golden egg which will never be hatched, costs 5 crystals. Okay, so we need 5 crystals first. And we'll have an egg that follows us around. There are so many items that some of them actually do surprise me, so that one's actually a bit of a surprise. I haven't come across that one just yet. So here's a hidden room actually. So if you take, it gives you an option of between items. I don't think I've got this item before yet when I've been playing. Oh, you can make an extra jump. So it's actually really handy because we can now get these chests perhaps. I don't know if we can jump high enough to get these ones. Let's see. Jump, jump, jump. There is actually an item which will let you fly. Okay, this actually is enough with a double jump. So actually that's really handy for me. I might actually just go for the next boss. Actually, can we get up to these ones? I think these particular chests you need to be able to fly to be able to get to them. But there is an item that can make you fly. So Johnny, God of Idols, this is one of the newer bosses I haven't really played against much. I'm fairly sure they blast around stars. But we are playing on easy mode again, so it is dodging a lot of these. So I'm not actually sure 100% what I'm playing against here, but this weapon has cleaned up. We've also hatched a fire baby, a fire devil even, sorry, which will fire fireballs at enemies, which I have had a lot. They actually do upgrade quite well. What did we just pick up there? That's my question. A earth bread, an edible root known to dwarves. Add a heart container. So this is basically increase our maximum health. You can see in the top. So we're on to the 4th level. We've actually made it, folks. We haven't died in the first boss, which I'm very happy with. And I really kind of want to show off the final boss, so hopefully we won't die here. I think because we've upgraded so much and it is on easy, it's actually proving quite well. And you can see here, you can get a lot of pets on your train, but then you have to sort of hope that they all hatch. So we've actually got a big train, but only 2 of them are usable at the moment. Do I need keys? I don't really need keys, so I'm not going to open that one. I do have a grenade to open up a concrete zone, but I won't go for that right now. And the upgrades carry over from weapon to weapon, so you can see actually this weapon has more shots. It has the double shot element to it that we had earlier. All the weapons have different elements, so this one is almost like, it almost is blown in the wind. It has that sort of element that it sort of curls around on itself. It's almost like a boomerang. So in some ways it's better because it floats around an enemy and hits them, but also makes it quite hard to fire forwards and fire accurately at enemies. So these here, you can actually see some of the enemies that have, these are harder versions of the enemies that we've already been fighting, like this particular one does explode, but has more health. We actually don't have a heart there, we couldn't use it. So because of the melee thing, we're getting extra hearts. I think we've got an item that if we melee people, we get extra hearts. I might be wrong, it might have been another effect, but we do get extra hearts from something. It might be picking up coins actually, I think that's what it is. I'm just going to go straight through here. More hearts, there's hearts everywhere. I could actually do with some more items. We do want to double jump here. I just remembered that we have the double jump. Yes. This makes things a lot easier in the abyss. And we're just going to go ahead and keep pushing onwards. These particular enemies are harder versions of the ones that... Actually, these are the first ones we've shown off that teleport, I think. I don't think we actually went against the easy ones in this particular run. Okay, so the grabber will actually grab coins for you and give you random items eventually. Sounds pretty handy one to have. Actually, I've just realised I shouldn't have taken that. No, because oh, wait, there was another explodey. So actually, that really hurt. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't realise we had 2 grenades. I only thought we had 1. But that's absolutely fine, because we still got full health pretty much. I might just go for the boss to speed things up, because I'm not sure how much time we have left. Actually, we do have a loot room here, so we may as well use that. We go for the loot room and go for... Okay, we probably have time to do the next boss. If we can quickly do this one, we'll try and speed run to the next boss. Every time you pick up a coin, there's a chance to get extra shield. That's really nice. That is a really nice one. I might not bother with those or the chests because they scare me. There's like spikes down there, swinging axes. Okay, so this is the god of screens. So I think this one turns into a lot of TVs in a second. So this was very scary. Okay, so we basically, they go around the TV screens during the screens. With purple, we've actually got a whole set of new enemies as well. Things that haven't been shown off before. These spidery looking things will chase after us and jump. These little part ones, I think, they turn into an egg when you kill them. One of the variations drops eggs. Here we go. This one's dropped the eggs on the floor here. Gotta be careful of those. Oh no, that's what those little ones do on the floor. They basically explode loads of projectiles. Again, for everybody just tuning in, this is Neon Abyss. It is a roguelike, a very friendly roguelike, where you shoot, hatch eggs, loot your heart's content, and is out as a demo now on Steam. If you do want to play it right now, you can play it yourself. It is timed, so you will have to try and make your way through as fast as you can. But each time will be different because it is randomly generated. All of the dungeons are randomly generated. But the idea with Neon Abyss in the final version is that you basically unlocks as you go along, and making your dungeons different for every run, and also upgrading your dungeons. I can actually use the ability here. So this ability is giving me another egg on the back of our trail here. So I've used up crystals for that, and we're going to try and find this boss as quickly as possible. Because we could die to this final boss, I don't mind that, just as long as we get to it to show them off. I might not make it though. This weapon is very hard to use. Okay, there we go. Destroy. Okay, we do need some more health, which I'm very scared of. Also, this grabber does take away our coins, so it means that we don't pick them up as fast as we normally would. So this looks scary again. There's lots of spikes there. Okay, let's open that up. Got another egg, got some more eggs. As many pets as possible is always awesome. We've also got we've got enough crystals to go to the shop, so I can buy some health probably. Here we go. There's another weapon here. Do I get the weapon to show off another weapon? I think we go for another weapon. Oh no, I don't have 50. I've got 47. I'm so close. You know what? I'll just get another shield so we can try and get to the boss if we can. I want to jump through here. Let's go. And there is another room here, so this could be the boss, but I sort of doubt it. Because actually, we can't open this chest. I've got to be careful now because I don't want to lose any health, so I'm going to jump over that. And we hopefully be near the boss because I don't think there's too many rooms. We don't go through the laser. We don't want to do that. We should be able to clear this. There we go. So all we have to be careful about here is that we don't get hit. Our pets actually do a lot here. I've got some very upgraded pets, so they're killing things for me, which makes it's just very, very handy. Be careful with these projectiles. Something hit me there. So actually, it was this bear, wasn't it? These bears are very nasty. One of the harder enemies to fight in the Abyss. There's also a variation on... Oh, I didn't just throw that grenade. There's also a variation on the wall one. You saw that there was a beam that came down from up above that actually does a lot of damage, and it's a bit different. There was a shooting one earlier. We've got 5 minutes to go. We've got time. We've got time to get there. I'm fairly sure we're going to get to the boss to show it off, and we'll end on showing off the boss. If anyone is tuning in right now, this is Neon Abyss, and it is live as a demo right now. This is actually the full developer build, so it is a developer build, but I can basically, it's basically the demo is timed, so I'm not actually rushed by any time limits here, so I can just show off as much as possible, even though I probably have got as far as you can probably get in the demo here. I wanted to blow those up without actually touching it, so we've actually got a lot of stuff here. I'm going to quickly get this, and then we can show off more items. So there's almost endless customization. So every time I basically get more melee damage every time I get hit in a room. Some of the items only affect you in a room. So if you kill an enemy or you take damage in a room, it'll buff you up during the time that you're in the room. So it'll reset every time. I've got to try and find the boss. We actually have loads of health for this second boss. For this final boss. For this floor. As you upgrade the dungeon, you can add a bit more bosses, more of these bigger bosses. I haven't shown off yet. We will go ahead and show them though. If we can. They are above a platform, so I don't have to worry about them too much. Get up. The only problem with this weapon is that it is very hard to hit things that far away. Okay, I think maybe we're getting close to the boss. I hope we're getting close to the boss. These things are scary. Very scary enemies indeed. I forgot we could double jump actually. I forgot we had that item. So Jack 3 may throw random bombs. That's why. May throw random grenades in random directions. That's actually quite a scary thing. So we made it. So we've got a few minutes left of the stream, but we're going to show off Argus, one of the first big bosses. Okay, this one goes invisible and reappears as little eyes. So we should be able to blast these down. I think they keep reappearing as little eyes around. There we go. And zapping us. Okay, this is a lot harder than the other bosses. Let me see. Come back. And actually something we'll show off in a minute is that if we do defeat this boss, that you get a different type of currency that can unlock further other things inside your progression path when you are unlocking such like. So actually it only damages them when you hit the eye. So they actually fire all these metal balls out which hurt a lot. I'm actually going to die here, aren't I? Oh no! Well, that was Argus, one of the first big bosses, and obviously very hard because we weren't able to take them out there. So again, if you see on this death screen here, it says death is another beginning, and I'm just going to show you why now. If we jump through to the loading screen in the game, we can actually unlock different elements that are going to appear in our dungeons every time we make a run. So there's characters, there's items, so we can actually unlock the Death Believer, kill enough enemies and you'll drop extra hearts. So killing enemies, so if we have this equipped, then we will basically, wait a second, get these unlocks. We'll be able to find them in the Abyss, but the Abyss is randomly generated. And so the other thing is as well, if you unlock something, you get a free trial of it. So if I'll just end this quickly. I've got 1 minute left, so I'm going to jump down and I can show off that I get a free trial of both these items. So we just unlocked. So we unlocked the crown and the, what was it called again? The Death Believer. Kill enough enemies. Your weapon does more damage when you get full hearts, which is pretty cool. 2 cool effects. You get to trial them when you first start out. So anyway, this is Neon Abyss. It's a roguelike shooter, and it's full of great stuff. It's got pets. You loot during the dungeons, and yeah, you fight some epic bosses. All basically you're sent down by Hades to fight other gods, newer gods of the Abyss, and also some old gods. We didn't actually see one of the old gods this time. We fought Argus at the end there. But anyway, the demo is live now. If you want to check out the trailer, it is awesome. I 100% recommend it to everybody. The music is crazy, so I've got it on repeat a lot. It is live on YouTube, and yes, you can play the demo now on Steam, so go check that out. Pardon? Okay, yeah, okay, we're going to cut to the trailer now. Sorry about that, folks. We're going to cut to the trailer now. I hope you enjoy it again. So this is epic. If you do want to watch it again, go to YouTube and check it out and put that on repeat because the cut of music is awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. We'll push over to the trailer now.
Product not yet rated.